Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Samaniti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharani Nirvishesha Shunyavani Paschatya Deshatara Oma Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Nityang Dina Tasmai Shri Gure Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitang Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyang Dadati Sabadatikam. So earlier today I was speaking about Srila Prabhupada and some of the things Prabhupada did during the time he was here developing ISKCON. But this evening I decided to speak about something a little different. Prabhupada said a few times here in India that the Islam, they created problems, mainly physical problems, meaning they destroyed temples, they did various other attacks, they took advantage of people. But the culture remained intact. The culture remained as it was for thousands of years. But the modern Western culture, the European culture, has polluted India. So what is that Western culture? It's a materialistic culture. But I want to talk about the culture within the context of this community. I mean, I want to talk about that contamination that the Western culture, the European culture brought. When I say European, I mean European, American, Australian, this kind of culture, but originating in Europe. So I want to talk about that culture and how it relates to this community right here. This community is, you can call it in a technical way, you can say that this community is an agrarian community. And there's an agrarian economy. That means that the people here produce the vegetables and grains and flowers and fruits, all the things that we need to live. And as Prabhupada says, the things we need for living and for liberation. So here we're trying to serve Krishna, and that is part of our liberation. He says that in the purport to this verse, Ishavasim idang sarvam jatkincha jagatyang jagat tena tyaktena bunchita magrita kasya svidhanam. So we should take our quota, and Prabhupada comments that means we take enough to live and enough for liberation, meaning that we also take something to serve Krishna, to glorify Krishna and Krishna's Leelas. So this is the system, and around the world, actually, almost the entire world had this kind of agrarian economy. It means basically local economy, local farming, local, just as we have here, producing cloth and local construction of houses, everything local. So the Europeans, about several hundred years ago, actually, more than 500, maybe 1,000 years ago, they had something they called the commercial revolution. So they wanted to go out in the world and they wanted to get more for Europe. The business people, and they became very good at shipping. So they had ships. The Arabs had camels, and they went across the land, and they brought goods from one place to another, from India to Europe, from China to Europe, and back and forth. So the Europeans became very good at shipping. So along with this European expansion, they decided that they wanted to change this agrarian life, simple agrarian life, and they wanted to have big farms. So in India, for example, in Darjeeling, you could find still today the big tea plantations. They produce lots of tea, and then they send it on ships to Europe. So this is only one thing. There are many products like this. It's called, there's a difference between local, so some people call it agrarian economy, and the big farms, huge farms. In America sometimes, here there's 60 acres. In America sometimes there's 1,000 or 2,000 acres. Huge farms. And they ship these, the food and other things that are produced around the world. So this is the European idea, to trade like this. Now this was not invented by the Europeans. Other people did this. In ancient times, there's a civilization called the Phoenicians, there's the Greeks, all these different people, they had the same idea but Europeans became very good at this. So they went to Africa, to Asia, to the Americas, all over the world, taking things from one place to another and trying to make as big a profit as possible. So this was going on. It wasn't really having too much of a harmful effect. It began to have a harmful effect. But then 150 years ago, a little more, 170, 200 years ago, the industry started. Everyone knows the tractors and all the machines, cars. This also enabled the Europeans to have better ships and bigger farms. If you have machines, then you can have even bigger farms. So what happened was these little small agrarian communities, like we have here, they became less and less and less. And everything became converted to this agriculture. Agriculture means that you produce a lot of tea or a lot of channa or tobacco or any product, huge amount, and then you send it around the world. So it does at least two things. One, it destroys the environment. When you are sending ships around the world, it causes huge amount of pollution. It uses a lot of resources unnecessarily. it destroys nature. And the second thing, it ruins these small village communities. The village communities, they represent an economy. Economy means a way of living with the produce, with what we produce. So it changes the way we produce and the way we consume things. So this is the natural economy of the whole world. The whole world was living with these kind of communities. And maybe there was a city nearby, but then the small communities, they would serve the city, they would take their goods to the city, but not on this world scale. This is what the Europeans started, that on the scale of the entire world. So China and India are producing things and sending them to America and to Europe, and all over the world people are sending from one place to another too many things, and people are consuming too many things all over the world. And a major reason, one of the most important reasons, is that these communities, like we have here, they're finished. They're, of course, not completely wiped off of the face of the earth, but they're so diminished that there's no country in the world that has an economy that's based on these agrarian communities. They have agricultural economies. A big part of their economy is agricultural, meaning producing large amounts of food for sending from one part of the country to another, or sending to another country. So this is the natural economy, this village economy. And this is the way, there are a couple of things that this village economy does. The city becomes a marketplace. Now, not just within Vaishnava culture, but many cultures, they criticize the marketplace. It's too materialistic. So the village, it balances that materialism of the city. So on one side, you have a materialistic place, and on the other side, you have a balance with this natural village life, the opportunity to live simply and to look for liberation, to serve Krishna. So this village life is, of course, it's important for us to be living in the village and to be living the natural life, but we are also doing a service for the entire world. We're doing a service for the world because we're showing by example that this is the simple natural life. So it's meant to have, there may be a city where people are materialistic, and some villages, and there's a balance, but now the balance is completely, there is no balance. Practically the entire world is the materialistic world, and these few villages, they are trying to set an example. So this is a wonderful service that each one of you, are doing. You're doing a wonderful service to, of course, serving Krishna. We're serving Krishna. But you're serving also humanity. This is an example for the rest of the world. So, Bhakti Vikas Maharaj and others, they are trying to establish these communities. Bhakti Vikas Maharaj, his communities may be the best ones, the best. You are at the center of this community, but this will grow. You'll see I can see in 50 years, I can see how ISKCON has grown all over the world. You'll see also, in some years, this community will grow. Things will become so nice. It's already nice, but you'll have everything here. It will become so satisfying, more and more and more. It's already satisfying. It's a wonderful place. It can only increase. And you're doing a service to the entire world. People are I just came from Mumbai. This is, they've ruined the nature. They put roads everywhere, driving cars, polluting the air, just for sense gratification. So all over the world they have these cities. And that's the aim of this city, is to increase sense gratification. And lobh, greed. In the Bhagavatam, it says that if a man is hungry or thirsty, you just eat or drink, and your hunger or thirst goes away. If you're angry, you can take out your anger, and then maybe you have a reaction. It comes back. And then anger is finished. But if you're greedy, Bhagavatam says the whole world will not satisfy your greed. So this is what's happening. Materialistic people are so greedy, they want more and more and more. And what happens? They're destroying nature. And here in this community, this village, all of you are preserving nature. This is the natural life. So it's a wonderful service. Everyone here is serving Krishna and at the same time doing a wonderful service to Krishna and to Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada wanted these kinds of villages. He wanted us to make these villages. We didn't do a very good job. Now Bhakti Vikas Swami is doing the best job by starting these villages. So serving Krishna, serving Prabhupada, serving Bhakti Vikas Swami, Guru Maharaj, and serving the planet. You're serving humanity by showing an example of what sattvic living is. Sattvic means, of course you know what sattvic means, but these people in Mumbai, that's tamasic living. Why is it tamasic? Because part of ignorance is destruction. They're destroying the world. All of these roads, taking oil from the earth, being attached to the energy Always attached to the energy, the energy, the energy. So this attachment, sense gratification and lobha, kama and lobha. So this is causing so much destruction. And here is an example, a wonderful example of a community that's trying to balance this materialism. And we hope that, we know, we don't just hope, we know that more and more of these communities, more people will come here. Bhakti Vikas Swami will establish more and more communities. And maybe some of you also will go out and teach others how to start these communities. These communities, these kinds of communities, may very well save the earth. That and Sankirtan. Sankirtan, book distribution, as Maharaj emphasizes. So these villages, Sankirtan, festivals, those things will save the earth. The entire United Nations, they can do nothing. They want to make some adjustment so they can continue their greed, continue to consume. That's the only thing they are trying to do. It won't work. So what you're doing will work. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments? So what do you think? Yes. Well, the book, in the books I've written, this also, what I've just been speaking about, is in these books. And I'm attacking the European society in the book. I mean, I'm attacking, let's say, philosophically, with words. I mean, I'm attacking European society, American society, and explaining that the best alternative is Vaishnava society and Sankirtan and farms like this. Not farms, I mean communities, villages. So this is a little bold, it may be a little controversial also, even in ISKCON, to attack Western culture, to attack modern culture. But Prabhupada said this. This is Prabhupada's message. I'm not making something up. The modern culture, industry, and they are ruining the planet. So we have the opportunity to preach to people. Some people realize this, they can understand. So if somebody understands, then we can ask them to become Vaishnava. We say, this is the perfect culture, so why not become Vaishnava? And I know this place called Kurmagram, and you can go and you can experience what Vaishnava culture is. So this kind of preaching. You come to the temple, you get trained, you learn how to live a simple life and not be too much attached to this materialistic consumption. People for thousands of years they are consuming. Everyone consumes. All the animals, even the plants, they're consuming something. They're eating something, they're living. So humans also consuming. But now, because of greed, there's too much overconsumption. If you go to the city, you see the pollution is because too much consumption. Another thing the city does is they use too much water. And the city puts in all the highways, they destroy the trees. So all this destroys the planet. Okay, if there's one city, maybe it's not such a big problem. But cities are everywhere. And the one city grows into a huge city. And two big cities, they merge into another huge city. It's like some kind of a growth, a fungus or infection on the earth. So that's all right. They want to do that, but we have the opportunity now to show them very clearly that Vaishnava culture is the best alternative. So until now, it was a little difficult sometimes to preach to people because we had to say, oh, Krishna is the best, and Vaishnava culture is the best, and Srila Prabhupada is the best, and my guru is the best. But now we can show very clearly, what you're doing in your culture is the worst, and we have the best, and you can just look and see, because people want to see. They want proof. They want to see. Sometimes people say, you talk about God, well, show me God. So we try to say, okay, here's Krishna. But they're not satisfied. So we can say, here's what I'll show you. That you are ruining the earth, and we're saving it. Because we have these villages like this. Yes, Prabhu. Yes. Yes, good point. A sustainable community, that's a little politically correct in the modern world to use that word sustainable. I don't like the word sustainable very much, because sustainable means, if you look at it from a biological point of view, in Western environmental science, the biology plays an important role. So, excuse me for becoming a little technical, but in the biology, they talk about ecosystems. It means that you have the whole earth is an ecosystem that sustains all of the living entities on the earth. But a tree is also an ecosystem. It has lots of maybe moss that's living on it, or insects, or the birds are living in it, eating the fruits, and so there are small ecosystems. So these little systems when humans come and they disrupt the system, that means they try to take more than the system will sustain. So for example, if you're growing some vegetables and you want to produce even more, then you can put chemicals on the earth and you destroy all the insects and you create more energy for the plants. This is artificial, and it can't be sustained. You cannot continue to sustain by taking more and more from the ecosystem or from the earth or from the water or wherever you're taking, that's the idea, to take. So the idea of sustainability is everything is balanced and you take only the amount that nature can give. But the reason I don't like sustainability is it still means, what is the maximum I can take from nature on a sustainable basis? This is the mentality, not of devotees, but this is the mentality of sustainability among Western environmental people. They still want maximum sense gratification, but now they want to ask, what is the maximum that nature will allow us to have? So sustainable is not Ishavasya midang sarvam yat kincha jagat yam jagat. It's not the minimum, take my quota. So I don't really agree with sustainability. If we use that word just to describe our own activity, then that's fine. But I don't, personally, this is my choice, I don't like the idea of using the same word that the atheists use. So, because it brings us too close to those people. That's my preference, that kind of language. But this is very controversial, what I'm saying, on camera. So yes, I don't think sustainability is the Vaishnava. It doesn't have the true Vaishnava philosophy. In terms of what it means to people outside our Vaishnava culture. It's very innocent when Vaishnavas use it, but as soon as we discuss sustainability with outside people, then we think, oh, okay, we're doing the same as you. No, we're not. It's different. So I think words make a difference. We're using the same word in a different way. So, you want me to say any other controversial things? Yes. Okay, here we go. Well, The modern culture, modern society has become contaminated by humanism. Humans have become all important. So this humanism objects to anything that's offensive to humans. They don't care about nature. They can destroy nature as long as the humans are taken care of. So humanism and also socialism, there are some similarities, and humanists are very attached to democracy. They like technology, and they're atheists. They don't want God. They don't want religion. They want to establish human morality. So we take care of humans, and we're very good at taking care of humans. We're even better than religions at taking care of humans. So this has been their doctrine. And now, of course, the nature is suffering. So then they say, well, we also want to take care of nature. But this is a little late. They're coming in a little late with this. But this humanism, it sometimes it makes religious people go on the defensive. That means that that humanists say, well, you people in religion, you mistreat people. So then the religions say, oh, okay, we'll try to treat people better. So I don't like this idea that we should feel embarrassed about something that we're doing. We're serving Krishna, and for thousands of years the Vaishnava culture has been nicely sustained. No culture is perfect, of course, but it's going on for thousands of years. If something continues for a long, long time, that must mean that there's some good qualities there. Sattva, sattva means to maintain. So here the modern culture is just either tamasic or rajasic, just burning through everything, consuming everything, and most likely it will be finished then quickly. So here's this sattvic culture that's going on for hundreds and thousands of years. So humanism, I think it's like an infection. It comes into also religions, and religions are then concerned. For example, in Christian religion, the Catholics, there's something called liberation theology. So it means that in South America, the church was very insensitive to the common people. So now they switched completely. Now they're very sensitive to the common people, and they want to support common people, and they're maybe also against this class idea. So socialists, they don't like the idea of a class system. So they're against what they call the traditional economy, this agrarian economy that we were just discussing, because they observe in cultures around the world that there are some classes when you have this kind of traditional economy. So they don't like that. But their ideas they have impractical ideas. They want some kind of utopia. Prabhupada explains They want the kingdom of God without God. So they want a heaven on earth, but they don't want Krishna, they don't want God. So these people criticize, you have these classes, different varnas, but they can only criticize. They can't establish a perfect society themselves. They can only talk about it. Where have they done this? Anywhere. It's only a future promise. They say, well, it's the other people who are preventing us from doing this. The capitalists or the whoever it is that supports classes. So otherwise, if you wouldn't prevent us, then we'll establish our utopia, our perfect society. So, my opinion, my controversial opinion, is that we can just say that it's Varnashram society. I don't think it's helpful to just call it sustainable. In India, maybe they understand Varnashram, but in the West, they wouldn't understand that word anyway. But I think rather than take a defensive position, I think Prabhupada was always on the offense. Sometimes people don't understand that idea of defense and offense. That means taking a defensive position means to apologize. If you say, for example, if you say, why is you're supposed to be environmentalists, then why is Jayapataka Swami flying all over the world in an airplane? So then if the defensive position is you say, oh, well, we're trying to do something good in the world. So you make some apology or you make some excuse. But the offense is that you say, Jayapataka Swami is doing yajna, sankirtan yajna, and the yajna burns up any reaction. This is our system, yajna. And the one who is sitting next to Jayapataka Swami, he is not doing yajna. And he will go to hell for stealing from Krishna. Yo bhunkte stena yavasa. He's a thief, he's stealing. So he's sitting next to Jayapataka Swami. Jayapataka Swami is going on the airplane everywhere, but is part of the Sankirtan Yajna. So all of the reactions connected to that are burnt up into the fire of Sankirtan Yajna. This is the system, ancient times, practiced in the Vedas, all the way down to our Sankirtan Yajna. That's the system. So that means on the offense. Maybe I don't say those same words if somebody's attacking. I don't say exactly the same yajna. Somebody doesn't understand that. But offense. You can't criticize. If you criticize me, then I will come. So this is Prabhupada's system. We have to be intelligent about it, not that we can't be blindly attacking people. That's not, we have to be polite. Prabhupada was always polite. Sometimes he would have conversations with people, and afterwards he would say, bring prasad, and then, so now we had an argument, now we'll be gentlemen, and we'll take prasad, and all will be forgotten. We'll behave nicely. So we're not beating people on the head, but we can stand up for our principles. We have our principles, and Varna and Ashrama are our principles. And sustainability is misleading. So thank you very much for getting me in trouble now.
Prabhupada would say that the society is already divided naturally. You can find the intelligent class of men. Prabhupada would say that the society is already divided in these classes. There's the intelligent class of men, the administrative class, the productive class, and the labor class.
Yes.
So artificially, we can't actually make everyone equal.
Exactly.
I think this is the, like what you're saying, offense.
Yes. But we don't need to explain to them. We don't need to give an explanation, because the person won't listen to an explanation. They just want to attack. So what are you doing then? We attack. If they're attacking, oh, you have this class society. So what are you doing with your society? What do you represent? You represent perfect society? Are you saving the planet? Oh, I'm trying to save the planet. You're trying. So this is a future promise. If I promise you $1 million, will you accept that? Well, I don't accept your promise to clean up the planet either. We have Vaishnava society, and we are already practicing a clean relation with nature. Clean air, clean earth. What are you doing? Show me. That's what I mean by offensive. Now let's take prasad, please. No, it takes some skill. We can't just be blindly fighting with people. We have to be careful and learn how to do it cleverly. Chanakya Pandit says that if you have a very strong opponent, you cannot use force directly. You have to be clever or cunning. You have to be tricky. So yes, we have to use our intelligence and try to figure out some trick or some way. But still, it's an attack. It's a clever, tricky attack. More controversy? Hare Krishna.